The corner, the corner, the corner. Hey, welcome. Come on into Cousin Ed's Corner. This podcast is where you'll find real, authentic conversation, organic conversation, unscripted, unfiltered conversation, like you're home with your cousin. It's all about life. It's about finance. It's about spirituality. It's about love and everything in between. I'm your host, Cousin Ed. I'm excited to bring you along on this journey. So sit back and listen in as we dive into a wide range of topics. I have some diverse guests coming on with an array of thoughts and opinions. My goal is to create a space all for us to connect and communicate. It's not really about me. It's about the community as a whole. Let's enjoy it. Let's sit back. Let's think about our past. Let's move into our future. It's about the corner, the corner, the corner. So no matter how you cut it or slice it, we're all here together. I'm just here to give you a piece of my heart, my mind, my soul, and my mentals. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Cousin Ed's Corner. The corner, the corner, the corner.
What's good, people? How you doing out there? This is Destrin checking in from the Brethren Podcast. We're here with Cousin Ed of Cousin Ed's Corner. What we wanted to let you know is, number one, we appreciate you checking in with us. We appreciate you liking, subscribing, and supporting the platform. We also wanted to let you know that this is information. This is used for informational purposes only. This is not financial advice and should not be used as such. Please consult your financial advisor should you feel the need to make an investment decision, a financial decision, or a decision that may be impactful to your family from a tax advantage standpoint. What we want to do is bring you content that is eye-opening, glaring, and also provides you the opportunity to explore, ask better questions, and be better prepared for the opportunities that await you. Again, this is Cousin Ed's Corner, and we hope that we can be of service to you. We love you. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. What's going on, fam? What's going on, fam? It's your boy, Cousin Ed. Yes, indeed. Back again, Cousin Ed's Corner. I am honored today to have another queen on with us, another sister on with us, a new friend of the show, now a family member of the show. I found her. I know it's a gift and a curse on the internet, and this has been definitely a gift to find this young lady. And I wanted to bring her on. So, Alex Marie, welcome to Cousin Ed's Corner.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you. So, in your background, I was looking on your page and I found out that you are in Fintech. And most people cannot even spell Fintech. So, I wanted to learn more about it. So, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself. And then we can jump into the technology or the actual what Fintech is.
Absolutely. So, as you said, I'm Alex Marie. I am the founder and creator behind Alex for Fintech. So I am by day a Fintech executive. So I work in corporate America. I'm a vice president of sales for American growth accounts for a large financial technology company. I have a background in credit bureaus and working behind the scenes of credit underwriting. I am a single mom of two beautiful girls, so that's also what I do during the day and on my weekends. That's my social schedule right now. And let's talk about Fintech. I mean, I've been in the industry for a little bit over 8 years now, and a lot of times when I say I work in Fintech, people are like, "What is that?"
I told you can't spell it.
I'm like, in its simplest form, it's financial technology, Fintech. Technology behind powering the future of money. So these companies have popped up and they're growing. And what I do for a living is I help them grow by using and empowering them with data. Mm-hmm. And I thought, my peers and my people, we need to know who is shaping the future of money. So that's how I started Alex for Fintech.
Very nice, very nice. So most of us, we know some of the big names that have been out there for years, the Discovers, the MasterCards, Visas, those companies. But a lot of companies have emerged in the last 10 years and even more now. Can you explain the shift in the financial sector, and why is it now fintech, not just banking?
Yeah, absolutely. So old school banking, those antiquated and sort of antique systems, people were not really having anymore, like having to go to the bank and having to write a check and have to wait for checks in the mail. And I mean, we have all this technology at our fingertips. And so companies started to apply that technology to financial systems. So there are banks who don't even have brick and mortar locations. SoFi, for example. I mean, a lot of people know SoFi because they have the stadium, right?
Yeah.
The LA stadium, but SoFi is one of the largest fintechs out there, and they now have a bank, but just deposit accounts and credit cards and investing all in one. And they figured out how to do everything on your phone. Anything that you would go to a bank 10 years ago to complete, you can now complete using technology. So that's why you're seeing all these things sprout up as far as fintechs. And then another thing is they've figured out how to lend money to people who don't have the traditional footprint and credit scores. There's Upstart and other fintech entities that only use or solely use alternative data and not just credit scores. So that's giving people who are underbanked and underserved, and traditionally they only use cash, so they don't have a credit history. It's giving them access to credit, and because they're thinking outside of the box and being able to provide that same access to people that look like you and me, right? Who haven't had history and generational wealth, and now they have a seat at the table to be able to access that.
So you speak of SoFi. I was thinking first of one of the early ones being PayPal and Cash App, things like that. So as those markets emerge, you're seeing people like SoFi, who now on top of a stadium, you have Coinbase and Crypto.com, all these companies out there that maybe we don't know about, right? We see the name, but we don't know what they actually do. How do we get educated on fintech and what they're actually doing?
That's a great question, because now what we're seeing is banks are partnering with fintechs and they're helping push that awareness, because banks are now behind when it comes to that technology and it comes to that alternative data usage. So they're hiring fintechs to do the work for them. So you're going to start to see, first thing I tell people when I talk to them, you just have to pay attention. When you get a loan or if you have a mortgage, look at who your originating lender is and look at who they sell the loan to. Then you can see like the names of the fintechs behind the scenes making things happen. Or if you're online and you're like clicking through something and it's like, well, here, log into your bank account. Plaid is one of the biggest fintechs out there, right? And you see Plaid everywhere providing that open banking service. So just first and foremost, paying attention to the different partners that your bank is using. And second, do your research. If you're looking at building wealth and investing and investing in like your credit, or even if you just want a high yield savings account, a lot of times fintechs have.
Hold on. You're talking French to some people. Yeah. Explain what a high yield savings. I got to stop right there. So explain what a high yield savings account. I got the money in the mattress. What is a high yield savings account?
Yeah, the money in the mattress is not going to earn you any interest. A high yield savings account, you put it in there. I mean, average a little bit below or maybe even 3%, but a fintech sometimes offers a higher interest earned on your money just sitting there. So if you have your money sitting in a bank in a savings account, you're not going to earn interest on that. It's just going to sit there and it's never going to grow. At the very least, put your money in a savings account that's going to earn interest. So it's going to grow just by sitting there. And behind the scenes, that fintech is probably putting all the money together and using it, somewhere else. But at least you know that your money's you're going to have access to that, and it's going to be more when you use it or when you come back and get it later than it is the day that you put it in there.
Now, for many of us in our community, a lot of this is hocus pocus, right? We don't know, I want to walk into the place and meet, Alex and talk to her and have coffee and get a piece of candy and everything else. So back in the day, you get a toaster and everything else. But now I don't have a face with anything. How do I feel comfortable doing these things?
That is a great point. And yeah, there's not always going to be people behind fintech. I mean, you're going to chat with a bot probably if you have a question. But I will say one thing that I have personally gained comfort in, when I think about investing, for example, when my dad or my grandparents had to invest, they had to pick up the phone and call their Wells Fargo or Charles Schwab rep and then make a request, wait a couple days for that person to call them back just to tell them that they can or cannot move their money, their hard-earned money. And they're waiting days and days and lagging. You know how the stock market moves every single day. It's up and down. fintechs have allowed us to get apps like Robinhood, where I can log on when I wake up and say, I want my money to go here instead. And I have that control at my fingertips. And I say, go and make that trade or, approve that buy or sell. It happens right there. I don't have to wait for Johnny Wells Fargo to call me back in 2 days because he's prioritizing by how much money people have when they call him, right? Yeah. So with Robinhood or like Robinhood apps, you can do that on your own. So it's allowing people to have more control, more instant control over their investment decisions, no matter the dollar amount. So I think there's give and take. No, the relationships aren't going to be there, but the control is there.
Okay. So we talked about banking. We talked about the new apps, Robinhood and things like that. So I'm going to back up for 1 second. I have the money in the mattress. You're telling me that I need to put it in the bank. First thing I need to do is put it in this high yield savings account, right? Might be Fintech, might be one of the newer banks, get more interest, but say it's Wells Fargo or anybody else, like put the money in there, right? Now I want to invest the money. You just mentioned Acorn and what's the last one you mentioned? Robinhood and Acorn, places like that. What is the difference between the traditional ones, right? Being the Schwabs, the Fidelities, the Vanguards, and now the Acorns and the Robinhoods out there?
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is for traditional Charles Schwab, Wells Fargo, Edward Jones, those guys, you have advisors who will help you make decisions on where to put your money. A lot of times you do have a threshold, an entry threshold of you have to be X amount in net worth in order to participate in that investment strategy. And then those advisors make the decision of whether they can onboard you and invest your money. But then they say, whatever fund, so funds are different stocks that make up a portfolio. So like I could have a fund of a fintech fund, and it could be made up of SoFi and PayPal, but it would be a mix of that portfolio. Or they will put your money into an individual stock where you're hedging the bet on that like 100% company, if that makes sense. So that advisor would make the decision on where to put your money and say, I'm going to watch this and I'm going to move your money throughout time, or you can call me and you can make a request on where to move your money, etc. But like a Robinhood, for example, you can start with any dollar amount. The individual, so Alex and cousin Ed, we can go in and invest our money how we see fit on individual stocks, or there are funds on Robinhood as well. There's REITs, which is real estate investment. So lately, a lot of people have been talking about REITs because they do have a high return as far as like, it's like a portfolio of different real estate. Instead of having to go and invest in real estate, like flipping a house, you're investing in the land in like a conglomerate, if you will. So Robinhood has all of that in one place where you can kind of play with it, right? With small dollar amounts or large dollar amounts, depending on what you want to risk in your investment strategy.
So I've been you heard the disclaimer at the beginning. I've been an unofficial savings coach, and I've been telling people to start with Cash App. Cash App also has the capability of doing this. And because you're already using Cash App every day to buy your kids not clothes, but get them a Happy Meal or whatever, or you transferring money to the lawn guy or somebody. So you're using Cash App every day. Cash App also has the capability. So would you consider Cash App a fintech as well?
Yes, absolutely. So Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all those. I mean, Cash App is part of Block or Square, and then Venmo is part of PayPal. So those are definitely fintechs.
Definitely. So those are closer to home. And like you said, the newer ones are the SoFis and the bigger ones behind that. Moving along. So I got my money now. I'm about to put my money into an investment. And I see you just did a $10,000 investment. Let us follow you on it. Let's say I have $1,000, because some of us, I may have 100, but let's start with the $1,000, right?
Okay.
How would you break that down between the different strategies that you talked about?
So if I had $1,000 to invest today, I would pick two. I would pick two things to invest in, stocks being one of them. And I would probably do more of an ETF or a fund, like I talked about before, that allowed me to say, I want my portfolio to include a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I would not focus in on just fintech like I'm doing. I would say maybe technology. So that would include fintech, but that would also include like Nvidia. Nvidia is one of the hottest things out there, and people are always talking about buying Nvidia stock, right? But that is less risky, more broad for that amount of money. And I think I would also put not the other half, I would probably do $700 in stocks and then $300 in REITs, which is the real estate investments that I talked about.
Nice. Now, you also talked about a couple other things in your post. I like everybody to go visit your post, but I did following you. So you talked about stocks, and then you talked about peer-to-peer lending as well.
Yeah. That is a little... Oh, go ahead.
I'm saying you want to mention that?
Yes. So I would say peer-to-peer lending is a little riskier than just putting your stocks in the stock market and letting it ride. Peer-to-peer lending, you have to pay attention to, depending on the platform. The platform that I'm using, it's called Solo Funds, and it's smaller loans. So let's say I needed to buy groceries this week and I needed somebody to spot me $300. I would put an offer on Solo Funds and say, I need $300. I will pay Alex 30% is high, 10% once I'm able to give the money back. But can I borrow $300 from you and I'll pay you $330 back? That is what Solo Funds, a marketplace for small dollar loans. So they're high risk, which is why I said if I had $1,000, I would only pick less risky. Yes. So I have done it for a little over a month now, and I'm on my second round of loans. So, and then I've upped the dollar amount on those, and I just scroll through and I look at their scores along with the people. So you can see how many loans they've paid back in the past, which is a high indicator on they want to keep borrowing, they're going to keep paying back. You can see if somebody has been delinquent before. So if they paid it back, but they were late, you can see, what the purpose of the loan is. You can see if somebody says, I want to pay rent. I stay away from trying to help people pay rent because that's a cycle, right? It's like they're going to get paid, they're going to pay the rent, they're going to pay this back, but then they're going to need the money again. There are some people on there that say, okay, I want to get my son a graduation party. That's different. That's off cycle. So they're emergency. A lot of times somebody says, my car broke down. That's not something that, hopefully it's not something that happens every week, right? So you can see what reason they're lending or what reason they're trying to borrow for. And you can see what they've offered to pay you as an interest rate. There's no interest locked in. It's almost like, look, I can spot 10% and I can give you that on top of the original amount. So that's Solo Funds. And the biggest reason why I really resonated with that app is because of the financial inclusion aspect. These are people who may not be able to go into a traditional bank and say, can I borrow $300? They would be denied. But this is a platform, a fintech platform that allows them to be able to get the money that they need.
Excellent. If you don't mind me asking, how did your first round go?
I got paid back, and I got paid back on time, my first round. I did less risky, so I did people with higher scores on there, and the scores, again, are based on their payback history and how many loans they've taken out. So then that means that the interest was a little bit lower. So the next round, I did take a little bit more risk. I did a higher dollar amount. I did like a $750 one with a 8% return, and I did another $451 with a 10% return. So I have a couple more days to see if that will pay back. So stay tuned.
It will. It's better than putting it in that high yield savings account.
Yeah, it is. And that's a really good point, Ed, because a lot of people think, well, if my money just sits here and I'm going to make 3% on it, I don't need to put it somewhere. But if it's going to grow 20% over here and it's only going to grow 3% over there, I'm going to take that money and I'm going to let it grow, right? It's all about the return on investment. And if it's already just sitting there, right? It's a good analysis to think about when you're entering into the investment world.
I'm not going to say I coined this, but it's common. It's diversification. You got to have your money in different places. I don't mind having it in the 3%. I don't mind putting some in the 8%. I don't mind putting some just at a long term. I don't know what it's going to do. Investment. Yeah. So.
And I'm not even saying don't have your emergency savings fund there ready, liquid and ready to go. My opinion is that there are 5 pillars to building wealth. The income. So you got to have money coming in, right? Income, savings, budgeting, investing, and access to credit.
Where we start at on that one? That's another show. We got to jump into all five of those. I wanted to touch on your $10,000 investment. Another one of your strategies is angel lending. Can you tell us about that as well?
Yeah, so angel investing, I'm new to angel investing. You really, really have to buckle down and research the companies and the founders and everything to do with the company that you're investing in. But the biggest piece to angel investing is that it's high, high, high risk, because not every company is going to be a unicorn. And I heard someone else on a podcast say, I'm not looking for a unicorn. I'm looking for like the elephant mentality. And she explained that, a unicorn means I'm going to put $10,000 in, I'm going to be a millionaire, right? I'm not necessarily looking for that, because that is once in a lifetime. But the elephant mentality is, I'm going to put 500 here, 1,000 there, and like the herd of the elephant effect. And like out of that herd, somebody's going to be successful, and I'm going to get my return at some point. So that's the approach that I'm taking. I am looking at different companies to, like you said, diversify on that investment. And really what angel investing is, for those who are new to investing as a strategy, angel investing is you identify a startup company. For me, I am focused on fintechs, but it could be any startup company. And for people who are not accredited investors, there are platforms that you could go on and you could say, I want to invest $500. I want to invest $250, because like different minimums for different types of investments. There are platforms where you can go on there and you can make investments and hedge your bet on different startups.
And those are more long term because you're not getting a quick turnaround.
That's right.
A lot of people don't understand long term investing so far as even stocks, right? They want the easy return. They want the microwave investment where you put it in today and it's going to blow up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So those long term ones, the way I give analogies for that one is the art on the wall. You may buy a piece of art and you may never know what's going to happen with it, but that one piece of art later on can be worth something.
Yeah.
Maybe trash to somebody else, but later on it could be worth something. So when you invest, I believe when you invest, you should invest with the idea that you can lose it all.
That's exactly right. And I think the world of social media makes that hard for people to fathom, because you don't know what's real and what's not on social media, but you have people celebrating their wins online and not necessarily broadcasting the losses behind the scenes. So our opinion is quite skewed now or expectation rather, is quite skewed as far as what a return on an investment should look like, because you have people who are on social media claiming things and claiming wins and claiming to be experts in the world of investing, but not necessarily showing both sides of that coin. So it can be tough to really, really understand the amount of risk that goes into investing, but it's no different than when people go to Vegas and gamble on a table. It's no different than sports betting, which is all the rage right now, right?
That's legal robbery right now. Yeah, it's microwave also. You can get a win same day. So it's a microwave win. All right. You had 10 reasons for learning fintech, and I wanted to go through just 2 of them for this show and save some for another show. Can you tell people 2 reasons why they should look into fintech?
So the very first reason would be something I mentioned before, is fintech companies are shaping the future of finance. And I think that in order to build sustainable wealth, understanding the systems behind money, where money moves, how money moves, all of it, understanding the system will allow you to navigate it better and be able to have that seat at the table and build wealth next to people who have had it for generations. So that's the first reason. I will always stand behind that. And the second reason, which is it's a topic that's near and dear to my heart, is financial inclusion. Fintech is almost like the hand reaching down to our cousins in underserved, underbanked communities who have not traditionally had access to the things that they have access to today. And fintech is making that possible.
Now you hit on something. I was going to close, but you hit on something right there. Giving a hand back. I saw you in the schoolhouse teaching others. Tell us about that, how you are not only teaching in your house, but teaching others.
Yeah, so I love this topic because I didn't have the credit education or savings. I didn't have any of this growing up. And I want to make sure that not just my children, but my children's peers as well have the knowledge and know the things that are out there and that their parents have access to, or even like the very the very foundation of finances, like things like savings. And I mean, my little girl has a fintech app on her phone. It's called Early Acorns, which it gives her a debit card and shows her that she can save this amount per month, and she has enough money in her budget, quote unquote, to buy things. So teaching them early. So I did speak about that as one of the topics, and credit and what's a credit score and things like that to her classroom on career day. But any opportunity that I get to give back in that capacity, I'm all for it.
Excellent, excellent. I don't want to keep you long, but I definitely want to bring you back. Can you tell people how they can find you?
Yes, so I am on Instagram and TikTok. Both handles are at Alex4, the number 4, Fintech, no spaces. Again, that's Alex4 Fintech. Alex Marie. I'm also on LinkedIn for the professionals out there that would like to connect. I had a recent job change, so you'll see that on my LinkedIn as well. I moved over to another global fintech company in the last year. Thank you.
And I see that they can also go to your website and book some time with you if they want to if they have more questions.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. Will we have the ability to link that?
I will.
Yeah, perfect. Yep.
All right. So, everybody, thank you for joining us. If you want to find out more about Alex Marie and about FinTech, please be sure to check out her Instagram page. Also, go to cousinedscorner.com. Leave a voicemail for her. Top of the page, hit leave voicemail. I'll play it for her on another show. I definitely appreciate you coming this evening. The cups on the counter, the brown is up top, the clear is below. You're welcome back anytime.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, fam. We love you. We love you. We love you. Peace.
It's Alex Marie, FinTech executive, investor, and founder and creator behind Alex for FinTech. Tune in to Cousin Ed's Corner podcast on all podcast platforms and at cousinedscorner.com.
Thank you for listening to Cousin